You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, card shop, arcade, theme park, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
Guys, welcome to Going Postl. Going Postl exclusively on the Major Pod Network. I am Dylan Postl. This is Going Postl. This is the rebrand, the relaunch, the revitalization. We're doing it big. We're relaunching this show, and it's going to be so much fun. The first episode of 2023. The first episode of the new format-ish. But before we go further, my partner, my riding buddy digitally, the guy that does all the work, the guy that does all the work, every bit of work. I show up, I turn my computer on, I click a link, I start talking and getting angry. But the most important person to this pod, George.
No. It's all you. I'm just here as the producer. I am George, sometimes Jeff, sometimes Paul Feast. And like Dylan said, welcome to the pilot episode, the relaunch, it's a relaunch. Same podcast.
This is Apollo 2. We were at Apollo 1 last year. This is Apollo 2. Did Apollo 2 blow up? Hey, Alexa, did Apollo 2 blow up? I don't have an Alexa.
We're off to a great start here.
Shit.
Either way, if you are familiar with this podcast, then you know what to expect. But if this is your first time listening or watching on YouTube,
enjoy.
Buckle in.
If this is your first time viewing, listening, any of that, you're buckle in. If you're driving in your car, you better be wearing your seatbelt. If you're sitting on your couch, I hope you just somehow put a seatbelt on, because this is going to be a hell of a ride each and every other week.
So today we're going to be kind of recapping the last year of Going Postl, talking about what got us here, and then talking about what the future of the podcast is going to be like, the new segments that we're going to be introducing, the new opportunities that not only we will be having, but that you guys, the listeners, will be also having in the future.
Guys,
there will be no timestamps here.
Make sure to follow at Going Postl Pod on all social medias. Going Postl Pod on all forms of social media. It is Postl without the A, without the E. It is Postl, Postl, at Going Postl Pod on every form of social media. Hit the like, hit the follow, hit the subscribe, all that jazz, as I say. Come along for the ride.
And while you're at it, make sure to go check out youtube.com/Dylan Postl. That is where, if you're watching the video version or you want to watch the video version of this podcast, that is where they will live. And of course, Dylan does 2 streams a week on Twitch, right? 2?
Twitch,
and that is
TV/Dylan Postl every Monday, every other Wednesday, bi-weekly. We're having fun. This 2023, along with this podcast, was about the relaunching of Dylan. We talked about it kind of on last week's episode, which if you haven't heard about it or heard it yet, stay tuned. You might in the future. You might.
So here's the thing. We're definitely going to be covering some topics that we had covered in the last 24 episodes, just because Dylan and I talked about it, and there's just some really important things that need to be talked about. And there's obviously some very funny things and some things that we will probably rehash and redo. But We talked about Dylan's debut. We talked about everything that he did before he got to the WWE. We covered every piece of gear that he ever had. We covered all of his figures, his favorite versions of his figures.
I literally forgot about the gear one.
Oh, I have nightmares about that. That was the hardest episode to put together.
I forgot about the
Luckily,
gear one.
I have a whole set of notes that I don't have to redo, so we'll be good to go with that one. We did a whole food shopping and taste test episode where you guys gave us suggestions. That was so good.
We have ever done.
Well, guess what? Buckle in, bud, because we're doing it again at some point. 100%. But there's so many other things that we want to do. We're going to incorporate Landon. Now, if you don't know who Landon is, boy, Landon, you're going to know soon.
I guarantee he shows up randomly today.
He's a big part of this podcast. He's arguably more popular on this podcast than either myself or Dylan.
So we had AIW on his birthday on December 30th. AIW, my home away from home out of Cleveland, Wisconsin. Landon loves it there. He loves it there. So I was like, hey, for his birthday, I'm going to bring him along. He had people coming up to his table. I put on social media that it was his birthday.
I love that he has a table.
Literally no intention of like, hey, you need to come say happy birthday to my kid. No, I was just proud that he was traveling with me on his birthday. Man, I bet he had 100 people come up to him and say happy birthday.
That's great.
Like buying his pins. His pins are officially sold out. Just coming up to him, asking him for the joke. Just commenting about his shoes and asking him about his shoes, about his collections. He's
Can you go get him?
Huh?
So he can tell the joke. He's got to tell the joke.
He's not telling the joke.
No one's going to know what the joke is.
Great. I have prowrestlingtees.com/swoggle. There's a cow chicken nugget t-shirt.
That's the joke.
It's you'll hear it at some point. But guys, Landon is going to be a huge part of this, as George said. There's going to be callbacks to things that you might not know about yet. But over time, very quickly, you will be a part of the inside gag, such as the questions brought up by Justin Michael, the questions brought up by Justin Summers. There's reoccurring characters on this show other than just
Captain
George
Shoes, Liam Davis.
Liam Davis, my dad with Eric Postl-isms that we usually get brought up at least once an episode. So again, if this is your first time viewing or listening, it's going to be a blast. I really, truly feel so excited. I'm so pumped that this can get out to the masses. We were having fun being Patreon exclusive before, but now it's going to be even more fun.
And speaking of that, and speaking of it being a Patreon exclusive show, we would not be here live doing our own podcast the way that we're doing it now, where we're just on the main feed of the Major Pod Network without everyone from the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Facebook group. So thank you for the support over the last year. You guys are the reason that we were able to take it to the main feed. And, I'd like to think that because we were so popular that now you guys are also getting Heath's Happy Hour as the Patreon replacement show for Going Postl. And I think that that's going to be even cooler, potentially. It's going to be a doozy of a show.
That's going to be an incredible car crash. Like that's going to be every week or however many they're doing. That's going to be one of those
fantastic shows.
Like how I make up a word a week for the English language. Heath is going to say multiple things that are Heath-isms.
I'm pretty sure Brian said that every week he has to do some kind of like top 3 roster read because of the whole Johnny Gargano incident that happened. He did something with the Tommaso as well. Tomasio Ciampa.
Guys, it's this show is I truly feel this show. Again, if you've never listened, or if this is your first time, or if you're just hitting the reset like we are, this show goes in many waves. We call it we have the highs, and then we have the heartfelt moment of the week, which isn't ever planned. Where it's just like,
getting to the heart of the matter, as Dylan likes to say.
Yeah. And it just stops me in my tracks many times. About once an episode, but there's some, man, there's the whole episode either really, really it hurts me or just hits me in the feels, as the children say. There will be times I get fired up at least once an episode. We're adding a new segment to the show, Hot Take of the Show. It's something that I will be texting George because I have a horrible memory, and something that fires me up, which
I've got 2 for this episode. So.
At least once a day, something fires me up, and it's usually something that other people enjoy for some stupid reason, or it's something that people do that just grinds my gears, that I'm very opinionated on. It's never going to be political or anything like that. It's going to be a very simple thing that in the life of Dylan, it shouldn't exist.
We're also going to have a segment, new segment edition called Grippin' and Rippin'.
Grippin' for those of you and Rippin' from Ringside Collectibles, brought to you by Ringside Collectibles, where we rip something live on the show. It could be a figure, it could be, right?
It could be a little bit of both. So it's going to be a little bit of that if you want, but it also could be you talking about what you and Landon will be opening on the YouTube channel in the coming weeks.
The YouTube channel. Even more it could be both of the YouTube channel as well.
In addition to that, also, Dylan, there are a myriad of other things that if people wanted to connect with you, obviously there's all the forms of social media, but you also occasionally do a Whatnot stream, right?
Yeah. Whatnot has been an absolute blast the last 6 months. I'm having so much fun, whether it be just my bi-weekly Whatnot Wrestling Wednesdays, where it's signed figures or gear or just randomness from my travels usually, or from my personal collection, or I've been getting into doing card breaks and running wrestling card breaks, and those have been a blast. I love the Whatnot brand. I'm a huge supporter of the Whatnot brand because, I think it's a really, really cool form of interaction. Every Whatnot stream I do, I call it a virtual meet and greet. Same as my Twitch streams. I said, this is a free virtual meet and greet every stream I do. I'm just answering questions while playing Call of Duty, or while playing Dead by Daylight, or while getting really mad at Fall Guys. And then on Whatnot, I'm just in between things and interacting with Landon here. He runs the auction. Every auction I do on Whatnot, Landon literally runs the lineup. I said, hey, here's the items I got. You make the list. Let's go. And he runs it. And it's just it's such a fun time. I live on that app when I lay in bed. I literally just scroll and who's selling what, who's streaming what. And it's a fun time.
It is. It's a very, very good time. So make sure Dylan does a regular post both on his social media and in the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Facebook group. Every time he's going live, he posts his lots, so you guys know exactly what to expect. So let's break this down. We are going to have a little bit of a Whatnot recap each week. We're going to have the Grippin' and Rippin'. We're obviously going to keep the format that we've been doing for the last 24 episodes, where every week we will be breaking down a different topic. And we'll talk a little bit more about how we're going to decide each week's topic towards the end of the episode. But for the last 24 episodes, what Dylan and I have done is that we have picked the topic and we have gotten into the nitty gritty about everything, dissecting his career. And that's really what the whole basis of this podcast was. It's evolved a little bit beyond that now. But in the beginning, it was just like, hey, let's just talk about what it's like to be Swoggle.
Yeah, it was that. And now it's a lot of times, whatever the topic is that week, it's George bringing up parts of said topic that I have no idea happened in my life, and me going, it didn't happen. And then him sending me a link or a photo of it happening and me going, oh, it did happen. But it's fun. It makes me really sit back and think about what I've done. And I never watch myself. I talk about it on this podcast all the time. I never watch my matches back. I have watched 5 of my matches total back. I just never do. And it makes me think about what I've done and kind of appreciate, because I don't ever, and you guys will realize that very quickly, I don't ever appreciate much of what I've done. And so it makes me appreciate what I've done and all the people I've worked with and all the opportunities I've been given, literally given. And it makes me think about that and think, man, 20 years, it'll be 20 years in August, 20 years since I started this coming August. And I was like, man, these 20 years have really been pretty damn cool, man. So it's like we say, we're going to joke a lot about this, and it's a very levity. This podcast has a lot of levity. Does that mean like a lot of just humor and fun? Nope. Easygoingness. What's the word, George? Levity is a word. I know levity is a word. I'm probably not using it right.
I just want you to keep going. I don't even want to correct
What's the
you.
word? This podcast has a lot of alleviation is like alleviating pain. It's letting go of something.
I mean, it's got a lot of lightheartedness.
Well, that's not the word I was going for.
What's the word that you're trying to think of?
Is it levity?
Levity? Let's see.
Levity.
Levity. Humor?
Yeah.
Especially the treatment of a serious matter. You were right.
Let's go.
I think
Dylan knows words, baby.
I think you're putting too much emphasis. I think it's levity, not levity. I think the way you were
How was it spelled?
No. I'm saying listen to me. I'm not saying that you were wrong. I'm saying that because you were unsure, you were elongating the word and making it sound like it wasn't right. You're like, I think it's got a lot of levity. Like you were adding extra syllables to where it didn't need to be there.
The emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Wrong syllable. Yeah.
What is that from?
I know it's Mike Myers.
Yes.
A View from the Top.
Nope, never seen that.
It's not what I thought it was.
No, how do I know this? I've never seen A View from the Top.
I'm pretty sure it was in the commercial.
Yo, can we talk about? You got me thinking about Mike Myers movies now. Austin Powers 1, great. Austin Powers 2, unreal. Austin Powers 3 was a kick in the balls.
Not a fan of Goldmember?
No one is. If you're a fan of Goldmember, if Goldmember isn't the third on the list, you are insane. It goes number 2, number 1, number 3. Same as American Pie. Same as American Pie. American Pie 2, American Pie 1. Then I would go American Wedding, to be honest.
I would say American Wedding was really good.
Right. You're not going to... American Pie 2 may have the best movie soundtrack. Don't fucking say Batman. I don't care. I've never seen it. Don't say Dirty Dancing or Footloose.
Like any Batman movies?
Huh?
You've never seen like any Batman movies?
No, the fucking Michael.
No, the other
with the Prince. The Prince thing. The Prince guy. The song. The Prince. Song by Prince.
You mean, I was like, what's the Prince?
The song by the Prince.
It's just Prince. It's just Prince.
As soon as I say it, I go, I don't think I'm saying this right. American Pie 2 is, in my opinion, and in my opinion is correct, the best movie soundtrack of all time. Blink-182, Sum 41, all the pop punk you can handle. Someone came up to my table at AIW once again and said, pop punk is dad rock. And I wanted to kick him between the thighs. He's not correct.
Can I make you a Pop Punk's Not Dead shirt that says, but it's like the patch that you have? You know the patch that you have on your back of your vest? Can we imitate that?
Oh, that'd be great. Hell yeah. But
we'll have two versions. We'll make one that's for and one that's against. So we'll have one that says Pop Punk is dad rock and one that says is not dad rock.
Not dad rock. How did we talk about Mike Myers? Oh, View from the Top. Emphasis syllables. I've seen Shrek. Shrek might be my favorite Mike Myers. Again, now let's talk about this. Shrek 2, better than Shrek 1, way better than Shrek 3. Dylan Postl's new thing, a new obsession. Videos.
Ranking trilogy movies?
No. Internet videos, quick ones, where it's the
like a TikTok?
Never, because I'm 36 years old. I don't do TikTok. Where it's the Smash Mouth song, but it goes Sam, and then like a kid gets hit in the face with a ball, and it goes by.
Dylan,
I was laying in bed crying, laughing.
I got some potentially upsetting news for you.
What?
That's a fucking TikTok, Dylan. Just because you didn't watch it on TikTok.
That's not upsetting at all. That's not upsetting at all. It can be a fucking TikTok all you want, but I don't watch it on TikTok because I'm 36.
Literally listening to you describe this, I'm like,
have you seen this?
TikTok.
Have you seen it?
I've seen all of them, but I was like, he's describing a TikTok.
I was watching one a couple weeks ago, and Landon goes, Are you watching those the Smash Mouth videos? I go, yep. And they make me so happy. There's a Hasbulla one. There's a Hasbulla guy. He got hit with a big old exercise ball. He was doing this rowing machine like this, and then they hit him with the somebody, and it floored me. George, I was crying laughing the other night, and I just wanted to YouTube Shrek songs, kids getting hit with balls, and I just like, oh.
Can I tell you the first thing that I want to do like immediately? And I want you to know.
It's a trash can. You're gonna put the somebody. Can you make that into a TikTok?
You have no idea what I'm saying.
You know, but I thought about that. You make me think about things.
That's a loaded statement there, Dylan. That's a loaded statement.
We're going for a ride, boys.
I want to make, and I want you to know this is coming out of a place of wanting to make you laugh, and also it's a place of love.
Is it me falling off the stage?
It's 100% you falling off of the AIW steps.
It wasn't my fault. I'm going to sue. I'm getting Michael Dawkins. I'm suing the Akron.
Just you walking somebody on the floor.
Well, you can do that. I'll allow that because I'll make money on TikTok. That's another thing. Can we talk about this? Fucking TikTok. Everyone's telling me to open a channel. If it's not making me money this second, I don't want to do it. And I was, you can have like 1 million followers. And I don't care. I don't like, how does that incorporate? How does TikToking make me be able to buy more things on eBay?
Well, that's why you have a 13-year-old son to bestow all of his youthful knowledge on you.
Goddamn money.
He's going to tell you how to become TikTok famous so that he can help you spend all that money.
Can I make money on TikTok?
Guys.
How do I, but like tomorrow, if I put a TikTok out there, can I make money?
Not tomorrow.
Like how long am I talking? 6 months?
Guys, I want the record to show it took 25 minutes into the pilot episode of this podcast of season 2 of Going Postl for Landon Postl to make an appearance. 25 minutes, somewhere around there.
How do I make money? Sponsorships?
Yeah.
How do I?
That, but also if you just get a certain amount of followers, you get like 10 cents per view, not even.
No, I'm not getting, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a sponsorship deal. You could be like,
but like, how can I sell ads when it's like a 15-second talk? I can't sell ads in 15 seconds and have me get hit in the face with an exercise ball. Landon, like that one. Make me money, TikTok.
Guys, another part of the podcast that we're going to be doing is also the occasional interview where Dylan will sit down with one of his many, many famous wrestling friends.
I can reveal the very first interview. The very first interview on this I'm rebranding the very first small talk.
It's season 2. Season
2 of the YouTube channel. Season 2 of the podcast. All Ego Ethan Page has agreed to sit down with Little Dill and talk. I'm telling you guys this. Good chance we're not talking wrestling. And if we talk wrestling, it's going to be very minimal. It's not going to be, hey, man, how did you feel about you and Scorpio Sky teaming up? Hey, man, how'd you feel about you laying out MJF? No, we're not doing that. We're talking about toys. We're going to talk about video games. We're going to talk about shitty Sega games. We're going to talk again about toys. He's going to talk about how to grow my YouTube channel. He's at 90,000 subscribers. By the time that comes out, he better have the plaque. And we're going to have fun. It's just two guys. And if you haven't checked out Small Talks yet, I had one with Renee Paquette. I had one with Wee Man. I had one with Bill Beretta, one of the captains of the Muppets. The Cabana one is up there. The Cabana one may be my favorite because we got a lot of heart of the matter things and a lot of really fun things in there. Brad Williams was very serious but yet funny. Midget comedian. Guys, also, if you're offended by the word midget, please keep listening, but stop being offended. We use it. I use it. I don't think George uses it.
There's no we. You use it. There's no we. Dylan uses it.
I stopped George right in his tracks.
There's no we.
I've never seen. If George could kip up, he would have done a kip up out of his chair. No. I don't use that word. Guys,
Undertaker sat up at WrestleMania.
But yeah, we're gonna be doing it. We're mixing in with the regular podcast episodes. We're gonna mix in some small talks as well.
Now, if this was the regular episode, we would have just answered questions. We were congratulating people on their 8x10s, and then I would be throwing it over to the hot take of the week. And just to kind of tee this up so you guys know what we're getting into, the hot take, if you're not familiar with what a hot take is it's a segment that we're going to be doing on the show where Dylan will have a space to vent about something that the general public usually likes or accepts and is okay with, and Dylan has a severe hatred for. Examples would be grilled cheese, toast.
Toast, stupid. Toast is the most useless food on the planet. Toast brings nothing to people. It brings, actually it does. It brings a mess. That's what it brings. It's the only thing toast brings. You're not going to sell me on toast. You're not going to sell me on grilled cheese. You're not going to sell me on strawberry jelly.
I got to tell you, if you've listened to the previous episodes, we talked about how Dylan and his love of eating on countertops. So then
not washing fruit or vegetables.
Not washing fruit. But then to hear that you don't like toast mainly because it's messy, it's just very confusing. Messy toast.
Can you eat toast in bed? Hey, okay. Can you eat toast in bed?
Do you eat cold? No. I'm sorry. What is you called? Cold cuts? Cold meat sandwiches?
Cold meat sandwich, yeah. What's a cold meat sandwich?
Do you eat cold meat in
a cold meat sandwich?
Ooh, okay. Hold on.
Hell yes,
I gotta cut you off here.
Hell yes. So, I make a cold meat sandwich and eat it in bed.
This one won't work next week or next episode, so I wanted to also do this one. What is your least favorite or a holiday tradition that makes you mad around Christmas, New Year's, being that we just passed through the holidays? Specific. You know what? What are your thoughts on Elf on a Shelf?
Love it. Love Elf on a Shelf.
I was not expecting that.
Yo, Elf on a Shelf is one of my favorite traditions. I love seeing one of the only times I like seeing a ton of parenting Facebook things. I don't care what you got your kid. Yeah, I post about it because I'm really happy about my kid getting Jordans or getting this or getting action figures. I love Elf on a Shelf. Love Elf on a Shelf. I love seeing people make funny things, or I would do it. Literally, the elf didn't come. This was the first year that the elf didn't come to the house. Landon was on good behavior this year, so he didn't need the elf to watch him. The elf did so many fun things. 9 times out of 10, they were involved with his wrestling figures.
I was going to ask that.
He pooped a lot of cotton balls and a lot of marshmallows. He got into my bar in the basement. The elf, Kermit the Elf, that was his name. That's his name, is Kermit the Elf. I love Elf on a Shelf. I love it. Here we go. Can we all agree turkey for Thanksgiving can go at any time? It's way back. That's not a hot take at all. Should be ham. Turkey sucks. Turkey compared to ham, turkey sucks. That's not even a hot take, I feel, and that's one in the past. That's just a very simple thing. Everyone's over turkey. We do turkey because it's a tradition. I get it. But if it's just stupid at this point. I like ham. Ham is always juicy. Ham, you can put on a sandwich really easily because you slice up ham. Turkey never slices right. Everyone's fighting over like the drumstick, the dark meat, the white meat. No, you just have ham. I don't know what the dark meat and the white meat is. I think the dark meat is the juicier part, but the light meat is always dry. Also, you don't use gravy. Gravy fucking sucks. It sucks. You don't use gravy on anything but mashed potatoes. Also, mashed potatoes, the worst side of any dinner. Done. Very simple. You wanted food hot takes about Christmas and New Year's? There it is. There's all the dinner. All we need is stuffing. If you call it dressing, get out. You're not dressing it. You're not dressing the dinner. It's not. You're not pouring Newman's Own in a thing with your turkey. No, it's not dressing. It's stuffing.
I gotta tell you, man. The reason I'm laughing so hard is because you wanted a hot take about dinner, about Christmas and New Year's, and the only thing that you've talked about that you didn't like is Thanksgiving.
Well, you make me mad. You make me mad.
I didn't make you mad. I asked about holiday traditions that you think are dumb, and you decided to only talk about Thanksgiving.
You do this. You know how my brain works, aka doesn't work. It gets very here. It starts here. Like I said, guys, in the very beginning of this show, if you're new to this show, I hope you have a seatbelt on at all times because we go from here and we go way off topic. We're not even on an exit on the highway. We're coming down the pipe. Way over. No, we're right down the pipe. Jukebox. I can't say that word. I hate it's jukebox.
You can't jukebox?
Yeah, I got yelled at the other day. I said it on Twitch.
You can't say jukebox.
You play a song on a jukebox.
It's K.
Yeah, not to me. I've said it this way my whole life.
But like you can say the word jukebox.
I just said correctly because I knew I would be corrected, and it made my skin crawl.
Okay, no. There's one thing about like you.
No.
Instinctually going to be like, this is how I've said it my whole life, so I'm going to say juke.
No,
but your mouth physically can say Juke.
Jukebox. That seems very weird. That's like Varuk. Because I cannot say his real name. I can't.
Varuk.
I can't say it.
I made a character in a video game and I named him Varuk, and I played an entire series on Twitch, on live stream with my character, Varuk.
It was Varuk Assad. Vince McMahon introduced him with Sonny. Here's Varuk Assad.
Varuk Assad. Man, okay, so this is what you kind of maybe a little less of tangents, but this was the pilot episode to know you guys were getting into. We're gonna have Grippin' and Rippin'. We're gonna have the topics, the questions, the 8x10 giveaway, the hot take of the week. You are gonna have all of your favorite one-liners and segments from Dylan. We're probably going to add in a couple of extra new ones as the podcast goes on. Some of this will probably bleed over into Dylan's Whatnot streams, into his YouTube videos, into his Twitch streams.
If you are a old listener to the pod this whole time, I'll say this: too much of my chagrin. Is that a term?
Yeah.
I'm not arguing with it, but George has me on a format. It's what we need to do. It's to keep me on a format to make sure we get all of our shit in with our partners and all of that. So we don't quite go off the wall and off the beaten path so much. It's going to be a little more formatted, but the same funny business as ever. We're just keeping to the format to keep people happy.
The funny business and all of the things that you have come to know and love about Going Postl will still happen, but rather than it happening, in the first 10 minutes, now we're going to try to condense that into the hot takes. And I'm sure that as things go on, during our first topic and things like that, things will be brought up in Dylan's mind that will immediately spawn a memory that he would need to then go off on a tangent on. And you know what? I welcome those. It's what gave and what gives our character podcast, our character podcast. Woo, that's a new one.
All right, Dylan.
It's what gives.
Okay, Dylan. Well, guys, that's our pilot episode of our rebrand, reset, restart.
Season 2.
Yeah, but it's not. We don't do seasons. That's like
WWE just season 1 was on Patreon.
WWE
season 2 is to the public.
Seasons. It's so dumb. It's a yearly thing. It's not like the Wonder Years where the little Wonder Year guy, the little Savage guy, they film 7 episodes and then they take a break with Winnie Cooper. She was from Impractical Jokers. I know her. I don't know her, but I remember her from the show.
I'm making a note of this in episode. So this is episode 1. By episode 10, I would like to do Dylan describes from memory 80s and 90s sitcoms.
Oh, that's easy. I might be able to get for small talk 2 or 3 banger guests. One of them dances a lot and says bye 3 times in a song.
There are 5 of them.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to get one of them.
Okay. Is it the one or is it?
It's my favorite one.
Joey Fatone.
Not a chance. I like him. He's my number 2.
Is it JC Chazez?
He's my number 4.
Is it Chris Kirkpatrick?
He's my number 1.
Why do I know all of the names of the members?
I'm Chris Kirkpatrick was one of the reasons I braided my hair. I loved Chris Kirkpatrick. I'm going to try my absolute damnedest to get him on Small Talk.
You should see if you can get Freddie Prinze Jr.
I could get FPJ.
He's got his own podcast, good cross promotion. You worked with him
his show
for a little bit, right?
My show.
Did you work with him?
Yeah, he loved me.
Go.
FPJ and I are buddies. He had his, so a ex-girlfriend of mine loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I watched while we were together. I watched a bunch of seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer with her. And so I asked him to see if he would have his wife sign an 8x10 for her, and she did.
Wow.
Yes.
That's pretty great.
That's a very random thing. Guys, that's it. That's the pilot episode. The repilot, the rebirth, the rejuvenation, the restart. Season 2, we are off and running. Please head over to all forms of social media. Follow Going Postl Pod on all forms of social media. When you are done doing that, head over to YouTube, youtube.com/Dylan Postl. Hit the like, hit the comment, hit the subscribe, smash the bell for notifications. Follow me on social media at Dylan Postl on all forms of social media. George, plug your things.
No, I'm not done plugging you because you've also got twitch.tv/Dylan Postl. You've got Dylan Postl on Whatnot.
Got that.
You also need to go and check out DylanPostl.com.
Merch.
ProWrestlingTees.com/Swoggle because that is the most important because all of the Going Postl merchandise will be living on ProWrestlingTees.com/Swoggle. So we've already got Cow Chicken Nugget. Cow Chicken Nugget shirt born on this podcast. And there's a lot more to come. Lot more to come. And so now this is the part where I plug my stuff. So it's myself and former Creative Pro champion Johnny Clash, and we host a podcast called The Game Marks Podcast, and we cover a new wrestling video game each and every week, and our goal is to play all of them. We've done a decent chunk. I am willing to say that we have probably played a little more than half. So please make sure to check us out if you're into wrestling and video games and any combination of the sort, and follow us on all forms of social media at Game Marks Pod, GameMarkspod. Dylan.
So
this is
we can't play the Nana Nas anymore because we'll get shut down. But what we can do is a very cool
nice
outro.
Elevator music.
It's a very, very cool. It's a very, very fun outro that we can do each and every week. Bye, friends.